Evening, everybody. Tonight I'm going to be doing Butterick B4685, and I'm going to be doing this one. I'm going to be doing it in a size 12. I'm going to be using my gauze. I got some dark blue gauze. I think it'll go nice with jeans and shorts and stuff. So I'm gonna do that. Last night I made another shirt. I made this one, and I made it for my half sister, but I really liked it a lot, so I made myself one, and it came out really nice. And I think it'll go really good with the skirt. Okay, so I have to iron my gauze and just let it sit for a few minutes till it gets cool, and then I'll cut out and then I'll come back. With the gauze, I think I mentioned it before, after you wash it and dry it, iron it and let it sit there till it gets cool, because it will kind of go back together, kind of shrink up a little. I mean, not like a major shrinking, but I just let it cool, and that way I can get a good cut on it. So I'll get that done. Like I said, I'm doing a size 12, and I'm like 120 pounds, 5'4". So if that gives you any idea for size for you, and I guess that's it. So I'll get this going and then I'll return. At this time, if you would please like, share, subscribe, comment, thumbs up. There is a little thank you button if you would like to donate to the channel. And also go to the special video for the free pattern for August. I will be picking a winner August 1st for a pattern, for a free pattern for one of the winners. So I will return. Okay, everybody, I'm back. Get your piece A first. I'm going to put my safety pin in for the front. So if you're going to do that, do that. And then at the bottom, we have to mark a couple holes. With the gauze, I have a problem with the marker. So I'm just going to pin where I need to stop. But I'm just putting a safety pin in my front piece. So I just have, just to tell me that that's my front piece. So get your back piece. And this is going to be wrong sides together. I'm just going to put a pin in here. I made my hole with my hole puncher. And it actually lets the head of my pin go through. Now, I'm not putting on the lace. The gauze is so light. I don't really want anything, even lace, hanging on it. Okay. So there, those are marked. And that's where we're going to stop. So I got thread on here from that shirt I made earlier. Okay. And then we're going to sew up the side seams. Okay, and like I said before with the gauze, let your feet do the work. Don't push it, don't stretch it, or it'll get out of shape. Okay. So just pin your side seams, and it's a 5/8. Let me find my side seam here. There we go. There's a notch that you can match up. And don't even like stretch the material, kind of like hang it. So like you're hanging it, and let it just drape where it needs to drape. Okay, get these done. And remember, just reinforce at the bottom of the pin where you're stopping. Reinforce it. Okay, so I'll get these two sides done. Okay, and it's just a 5/8 seam all the way down. Like I said, just guide it, but don't like push it or stretch it. Just let it go. And then reinforce at this dot. And then we'll just press the seam open. Okay, let me get this other side done. Now, when you're pressing down your seams with the gauze, you just want to pat it because you don't want to stretch this. If you're using cotton, you know, you can iron the regular way, but with gauze, just touch it. Let me just get a scrap, and I'll show you what happens if you stretch it. See, and this is the same size, and it's stretched, you know, like 3/4 of an inch. So that's why you don't want to stretch or iron and stretch it. Okay, let me get this other end done. And I decided not on the lace. I think it'll make it look a little heavy. Okay, there we go. Okay, get your sleeves. Be sure you have this cut for A. And we're just going to sew up the side seams. Got so much stuff on this table. Okay, so the side seams are this little, I guess, V. And that's 5/8. So you're gonna have to pivot. So sew down and then kind of pivot. Okay, there's one. So I'll get those done. That's my right side. Oh, there she goes again. Then she'll get the bird going and he'll start squawking and swearing and okay, the same thing. Open up your seams. Just pat it open. And if you want to get one of these ironing boards, it's called a sleeve board. And Amazon has them for like $10. Okay. Okay, now you're going to put the sleeves on. Oh, I dropped one of them. And be sure you get the right sleeve. It will have a double notch and a single notch. And you just want to be sure the side of the shirt has the double and the single. So here's my double and here's my single. And this is right sides together. So just look for your sleeve, right sides together. That's gonna have that notch. Okay, my double notch is right here, okay. So do your 3 points, which is, do your notches first. Or you can do notch, seam, notch, whatever you want to do. But those are the 3 that you want to get perfect. My stomach's rumbling and we already ate. And then once you do this, after the 5/8, you're going to come down, go down the same seam line from notch to notch just to reinforce it. And if you're using the gauze, I would suggest that. Okay, so I'll get this done up. And then we'll move to the next step. And I will trim my underarm with my pinking shears. So just kind of let it hang. There we go. Be sure everything is even and straight. You want those edges perfect. Okay, before you cut your seam, just look on the outside and be sure that your whole sleeve looks good, that you have no buckles or anything. And that's good. Okay, so I'll trim that, get my other sleeve on, and then we'll continue. And I'm just cutting notch to notch with my pinking shears. Just don't cut your shirt. So just be sure everything's out of the way. And also be sure your seams are opened. So just notch to notch. And I take off about half of this. Just like that. Okay, let me get my other sleeve on. Now we're gonna do the neckline that I didn't do the lace. I'm gonna turn down a 1/4 inch, and then I'm gonna turn down probably a little less than 1/2 an inch. We're using 1/4 inch elastic, and that's gonna be for the neck and the sleeves. So you got to be really careful here with the gauze. Like I said, pat it down. And don't iron the shirt or anything. Just come in, hopefully where it falls. Oh, this little, get a 1/4 inch. And just pat it down. It might take you a little bit longer, but if you want the gauze to look right, you just got to take your time. Because you really don't want to stretch this out, especially on the neck. So keep going around. When I get this done, I'll come back. Okay, before I turn down my 1/2 incher, I'm going to use some of my stitch witchery on each of the sides of these seams. And that way, when you're putting your pin through, your safety pin through your for your elastic, it's not gonna go in here. It'll go right over it. And then I'll just have to turn my 1/4 down again. But I want that seam to be closed. So I just use a little piece like this. And I just place it down. And get it in there. Push it a little bit more. There we go. Okay, and if you ever use this and you get some on your iron, you'll get like little black spots. All you have to do is wait till your iron cools off, And then just take some rubbing alcohol and either some of your leftover gauze or material and just wipe it off. Okay, so I got a couple more places I gotta do here. So I'll be right back. Okay, grab yourself a little ruler. And I got mine set at a 1/2 inch. So I'm gonna turn this about a 1/2 inch. And then kind of press it down, pat it down. And then get your clips and clip it down. And do this all the way around. And then we're going to put the elastic in. I gotta go over that a little bit. And I usually don't use the elastic guide. I will put this on and see where I need to tighten it. Get that little down a little. Didn't keep it on long. I was trying to rush. So keep going around. And just help your gauze. Like I said, I'm not putting the lace or anything. I just want a shirt that I can just kind of throw on and run to the grocery store in. And it's just, you know, an everyday shirt. Just something to go with shorts or jeans or just something quick to throw on. And we will be doing the same thing for the sleeves. So just be sure you get your seams here straight. Okay, once you have this pinned up, in my back, I'm gonna find my back piece here, right here. That's where I'm gonna start for my elastic. So I'm just gonna put a pin here and a pin here, and that way I know to start here and end here so we can get our elastic through. Now you want to sew very close to this folded edge right here, as close as you can get. So come back over near the sewing machine. Start with your needle down. Let me get my little jars I can put my clips back in. Let me find them now. Okay. So always start with your needle down. Okay, right there, I'm gonna start. Now with the gauze, you might have to turn your edges a little if they pop up. They don't like to stay down very well because you're not really putting a lot of heat on them. So just go slow and be sure that those edges are popped down. And then just keep going around, and then we'll get our elastic and put that in. And then you'll try it on, check the size of your elastic, we'll sew that up, we'll do our sleeves, and this is going to be a rolled or a narrow hem on the hem. So, but let's get this done. Okay, now run your elastic through, and be sure you, at the end, you reinforce that end stitch. So just keep your elastic straight, because 1/4 inch likes to turn. And then just run it through, and then go and try this on. Go in front of a mirror and get it where you really like it. And when you almost get to the end, pin your elastic, your end of your elastic up here so it doesn't go flying back through. So just keep going through, and I'll be back. Okay, once you have it where you want it, I have my 2 pins here, and I'm making it a little bit tighter just because the new bras I got have a wider strap. So all the shirts I've made, you can see like a 1/4 inch of my bra strap, but oh well. My bird's going off. So just get the length you need. Oops, I cut that. And then you're just going to put this together and just overlap. So overlapping, just overlap your elastic, and you're going to sew down this way, and then you're going to sew down this way, and then sew down straight down, and that'll put it all together. It won't come undone. And then just sew up your little hole. So you'll have something like this. It looks like an H. You go down, down, and then across. Okay, and then just put your elastic through and just kind of run it through so it's even. Find your spot, your hole, and stretch your material while you're sewing it. And then just trim your threads. Now we have to do the same thing for the sleeves. So I'll get my sleeves done. You don't need me to show you that. It's just a 1/4 inch and then the 1/2 inch. And get those sewn up and just put your arm through your hole of your arm. It's like this, so you know how tight you need it. So, okay, I'll get that done, and then we'll do the hem. Now this has the tie that you can put on it. You put it right on the middle. You just tack it in. I'm not going to do that either. I just want this to be a plain shirt that I can just throw on and not have to worry about it. So, all right, let me get my sleeves done and then we'll do the hem. With my sleeves, I'm going to use some of my tape on the seam. It just helps so much so that seam doesn't catch that safety pin. And just try to get it right at the edge. Now you're going to do a 1/4 inch, and I'm just going to do a little less than a 1/2 inch on my sleeves. So I'll do the exact same thing that I did with my neckline. I'm just going to cut that little tip off. My bird's going off again. So just do this. Get your elastic in. Don't forget to leave an opening for the elastic to go through. And I will be back and we will do the hem. Okay, and before you sew, just try to put your shirt together here and see if your sleeves are the same size. So that looks good. So the same thing with your sleeves. Just run your elastic through. Now what I usually do is I'll run my elastic through. I'll try it on my arm, but then I pull it out and I cut another piece. And that way I have the even pieces. And then when you overlap them, just measure your overlap. So if you're overlapping like this, just be sure that you measure how much you're overlapping so your other sleeve will be the exact same length. Now I gotta find my little hole here. Oh, that's my neckline. I guess that wouldn't work. It's gotta be down here because I do it right here. Okay, so get these done and then I'll be back and we'll do the hem. Because it has a rounded edge, if you cannot get it rounded, baste it. Like your 1/4 inch, you can baste that going around that corner. So then when you turn it up again, it'll be rounded. All right, let me get these done and I will return. My bird's going through his thing tonight. He was just whistling If I Only Had a Brain. I tell you, they can make you laugh. They're just so funny. Okay, I'm almost done with my sleeve. But this is what we go through every night with him. Everything that he's learned, he does it every night. Okay, let me get this one done. Okay, before I take out my pin in the front, I have little tags. And I'm gonna iron this on the back. You can also take a little piece of material and just kind of fold it like bias tape. And then just turn it. And you can sew it so you have like a little tab on the back. Because sometimes it's really hard to tell on the gauze if you're not gonna put, you know, the tie and stuff, which one's the front. So I just do that. So now I can take my pin out. Okay, so now we're gonna just hem the shirt. Now, like I said, if you can't get that corner rounded like you want, base the first part of it, and then once you come back, it'll already be folded. Now, I'm gonna try to do this not basting, because the gauze is pretty flexible. I can kind of shape it. But if you're having a hard time, if you're using, you know, a different cotton, a stiffer cotton, just baste these 4 little openings and you can get a nice round corner or side. Okay, I'm doing the 1/4 inch and then coming back and just turning it another 1/4 inch. So just keep working at it. Okay, and I'll be back. The worst sound he has picked up is our house alarm. So every time you open up the door, the alarm goes off. And it's a high-pitched beep. And he's got that down packed. It is, oh my God, he did that one night at, God, I think it was like 2:30 in the morning. He did that, and you want to see somebody jump out of bed quick. And I went all over the house, checked the windows, nothing. And then I realized it was him. So they keep you on your toes. Okay, once you have this all turned, get your clips and press over one more time. Be sure you can get that shape really nice. And and then just clip. And what I'm going to do is when I get to this point where you had the stop, I'm going to go all the way up, and then I'm going to pivot, and then pivot again and come back down. And that will be like squaring it, even though it's a circle or half circle. So you just keep working at it. And I'll be back. I have some of this material left over, so I'm just going to make those gym shorts that I made out of the gauze a few weeks ago. They make great pajama shorts. So I'll probably do that tomorrow. I won't video it. It's just something I'm gonna do. I gotta use up my material. I have so much of it. I gotta start using it up. All right, let me get this done. And then when I get to that point of the squaring of the corner here, I'll show you what I do on my sewing machine. I'm just trying to get this the best I can. Let me show you what I'm doing here. Where this piece is, I'm folding in a little of this where to do my 1/4 inch. That's a little bit too big. And then when I come back and fold it, just have to keep working with this gauze. Okay, so then that corner's totally closed up, and then I'll just come up here and sew it across and then come back down. But if you didn't know how to square that corner, with this stuff, you just gotta play with it so it lays flat. All right, let me keep going around. Okay, now sew close to this folded edge. And I usually start in the back. Okay, let me get that done. When I get to the corner, I'll show you what I do. Okay, so come up this corner. Okay, now pivot and do till you get to the next fold. Just about. And pivot again. And continue. And that way you'll have a nice side. Okay, everybody, here it is. And once I wash it, because I've stretched it a little with the iron, just pressing out the hem, everything will come together. Okay, so that was Butterick B4685 again. And I did this A. I did not put the tie. Things get caught in my hair. I just like a nice plain top. Okay, so that'll do it for tonight. I'll figure out something tomorrow. I still have a couple patterns that I've cut out. One was the pajama top and pants, and I haven't done that yet, so I might do that. I also want to do Butterick 6838. I've done it before, but I'm thinking of doing the shorter one for summer. So I'm thinking of that one. So there's a few things I can do still. So please like, share, subscribe, thumbs up, comment. There's the thank you button if you want to donate to the channel. And that's about it. So you all have a good night. Pray for our country. And I'll see you later.